Hi everyone. Today I'm really just kind of working through my stash. I've kind of cleaned our shed. If you guys don't watch my reels, you'll have to go back and find that one where I have it all lined up on our back deck, all the goodies that we pulled out, and they're all there, so make sure you guys check that out. But I'm trying to just really work with what we have here. I have not been thrifting in like 3 weeks. I do have some picks coming up, so we're just really trying to work through what we got and get it cleaned out so we have room for this new stuff we're getting. And so today's video is all about that. Stay tuned to the very end for final pictures, and here we go. So we have 2 projects today. The first one is a frame, and I can't remember where exactly I picked this up. Maybe a yard sale? I don't remember. But it's not wood, I don't think. I think this is more of like a resin poured, like it's a weird material. But it was also very poorly painted, and I am going to go in and give this one good coat of Apothecary by DIY. This is a clay-based paint. It will need to be sealed, which you will see me do here in just a bit. But while I finish painting this, let me introduce myself. My name is Sandra, and I'm the owner and creator here at Midwest Charm. I specialize in repurposed, upcycled vintage home decor and furniture, as well as all of your creative needs. I carry DIY paint, Sweet Pickens milk paint, Roycycled Treasures, Iron Orchid Designs, and Connie Lines and Designs. You can find me at Salvage Sisters in St. Cloud, Minnesota. I have a booth there where I carry some of those items, and on my website, www.midwestcharm.co. And I am also on all the socials. Everything is linked below, as well as a list of what I have used in today's video. So we are just going to finish this up by swirling our brush in all those details. That really helps to get in between the nooks and crannies and give me really great coverage. I love using DIY paint. I mentioned before it is clay-based, and it goes on so smoothly and on pretty much any material you can ever imagine. Like I said, I think this is resin. Now let's talk about this frame. I am, like I have mentioned, cleaning out my shed, and this was one of the items that I had in there, and I am just trying to work through what I have before I really start buying more. I have a couple of picks coming up, and I want to make sure I have room for it. But you can see this piece. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to add art to it. We're going to try selling this as is, because I actually do really well selling just frames. And here's just a close-up of that coverage, you guys. I'm telling you, if you have not tried this paint, you really do need to, because it is amazing. It works great on furniture. It works on glass, on metal, on any surface I have ever used. It works really great. And another really great thing about this is that it can be wet distressed. So you will see me here grabbing just a simple baby wipe and wiping over where I want this piece to be distressed. And you will also see me sometimes come in with a dry cloth just to kind of wipe away some of the muddiness that might be left behind from my baby wipe. But for the most part, the coverage is great and the removal is great. And you can see no dust. There is zero mess with wet distressing this piece. Now, this project really is what you like. So if you don't like that distressed look, you don't have to do it. If you don't like my layered waxes on here, you don't have to do it. You can, at any point, stop and seal this in. You do not need to do any of these steps. But I am going in directly on my paint. Normally, you see me go in with a clear wax and then go in with my colored wax, because that gives you just a little bit more control of where that wax is going. There are a few exceptions, like when I am doing my polished cement look, that really high-end dupe that I have showed you guys, I will go in directly with my white wax for that. In this piece, I decided to do the same. I really wanted this white wax to sit inside the scroll work on the frame, and I was afraid if I went in with that clear wax first, the clear wax would fill those spaces and the white wax wouldn't be able to sit down in it. So I went in with my white wax first, and I went around that whole center piece there and gave it a good coat and really made sure to get into all of that scroll work. And then I decided, you know what, I really want to put it in where the majority of the little floral pieces were in the outer scroll work. So there were like these little dainty flowers in just little sections. And so I also did white wax over those pieces as well. As you can see, it's looking beautiful already. And again, if you like this, stop. If you don't, and you want to see where I'm going with this, hang on. I go in with a shop cloth, and I am just going to buff away some of that excess white wax that's sitting on top of these items, or this space. And I'm going to go in and just wipe that off, and you can see with this paint, when you go to use a sealer, whether it's wax or a top coat, it does like darken up the piece. So I knew I was going to have to go in with something on the rest of this. So I took out the clear wax and went over all the rest of the frame. And then I also used that clear wax to kind of remove any of the white wax if it was in a spot I didn't like. But I really, really loved this piece at this point. It's, I don't know, you guys, it just looks so much better. This piece is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. This is going to be a great statement piece in vignette. It's going to be gorgeous. I cannot wait to show you this finished item at the end of this video. So I just continue to layer on the wax, make sure that I am getting into all of the spots that I did not get any of that white wax, so that my finish is completely solid looking and it is completely sealed in. Once I am finished with getting the white wax, or the clear wax, the clear wax where all I want it to be, I do go in with that shop towel and once again buff off any of that extra and just kind of make sure it's looking how I want it to. At this point, I decided, let's go a little bougie. So we take out our rub and buff, and this is antique gold. I put just a little tiny dab down on a piece of paper, and then I use an artist brush and lightly go over the tips of just the very tip of this detail work with that brush. And I make sure to go from different angles just to give it different looks in different spots. And I just really want to accent the pieces that are raised so that it just stands out just a bit more. Now, when you put this on, there is no need to seal this. There is no need to buff it or anything. This goes on and it hardens within minutes and it is set. And it just adds that final detail that just takes this from amazing to spectacular. This piece turned out so good. You can see on the left there where the glare from the sun's not hitting. It's looking exactly how I want it to. You guys, stay tuned to the very end where I show you these final pictures. You are not going to believe the transformation from this white, barely white frame into this beautiful, luxurious, apothecary colored frame.
Now moving on, I'm going to be doing something completely different for project number 2 today. I'm doing a little cutting board that I found in my stash. I have a feeling this was a riser. You can see the little spots there that I filled in with wood filler. It looks like it possibly had some legs on it at some point. I also took out the top little hook you can see on this picture. I do take that out to finish painting this up. And we're going to go in with cake batter. I love this color. It's a great spring yellow. It's a great summer yellow. And I'm starting to work on summer projects for my booth. So I'm going in with multiple coats of this. That was one. This is coat number 2. And I'm going to show you guys when this paint dries. I think I've talked about it before. It gets lighter, and then when it's wet it gets darker, and I will show you here exactly what it looks like while it's drying. But I do go in with 3 coats of paint on each side of this, including the edges there. I do finish up every last bit of this piece, so the front, the back, and those side edges are all going to get the 3 coats of paint. So you can see here in just a second, once this is dry and I pick it up to do that third coat, second coat on the edge and then third coat on that back. This has great coverage. The color is solid. It is beautiful. I am going to say it again. This is a highly underrated color. It is so good for all seasons. I love, love, love using it. And you can alter its overall look with waxes too if you chose to do that. I am not using wax for this particular project today, but I love, 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 love what I did with it. I actually seriously debated keeping this for myself, but I'm not. It's going to go in the booth. I really need some summer projects in there. Okay, I know you all are thinking, man, she just keeps repeating herself here. We're watching the same thing again. I promise you, there's an end here. And you are going to see the cutest piece. It's just adorable. I am actually, this is the side that we are going to be, quote, finishing. So we're going to be going in with all those layers of paint to make sure we have full coverage. And I'm actually going to show you too how this paint looks as it dries. So you can see when it goes on compared to when it dries, it's almost like 2 different colors. And then when you seal it, it's like somewhere in between the 2. So this is coat number 2 on the top of this piece. And you'll see it's really great coverage. I'm smoothing out my lines, and then I'm going to hit this with the hair dryer, and you guys can watch this dry in real time and you'll understand the change of this. So you kind of have to in your head work with something in between the 2. So here's what we are working with. We're going to be going in with the Melange Paint Inlay. And I picked out these 2 little bees, and we are going to apply these to our little board, which means, yes, 1 more coat of paint. And we're going to mist our piece, and I do paint side up. I give it a mist to activate that paint. I'm going to go in with 1 more coat of the cake batter. And while our paint is still wet, we are going to take our inlay and gently press it into our wet paint. And I use my hands for this, and I smooth it out with my hands as well. I know everybody kind of does this a little bit different, but this is how I've always done it, and I just kind of place it where I want it, kind of center of the piece down first, and then kind of let it move out. And then smooth out all the part where the paint is, because that is real paint on there. And then we're going to give it a mist, and we're going to do the same thing again. We're really going to make sure that that paint is embedded into our cake batter paint. And then we are going to let this dry. I really want you to watch that inlay, and if you can see now, it's kind of transparent. And once this piece completely dries is when we're going to peel it off, and it looks completely different. I just take note of that. Once it's completely white again is when you can go ahead, mist that paper again. You're going to let it sit for a few seconds to activate those papers and make it easier to peel off. If you feel any resistance, just mist it a little more and spray it. And this is why everyone loves paint inlays. This is so satisfying, and it shocks me every time that you get that beautiful, crisp image from that piece of paper. Then I am going to distress this, and I am giving it a heavy distress. It was a little wet up there, so I just used my finger to remove that. But I'm going to give it a pretty heavy distress, and I could go in and wet distress this, but I decided to just use my finger sander there because I wanted it a little bit heavier than what I was going to get from using a baby wipe or something along those lines. And yes, I am doing the backside as well. And you see me move plastic underneath that paint inlay so nothing ruins it while I am getting this all distressed how I want it. Once this is completely distressed, I do kind of wipe this off to make sure there's no more dust on there, because I am going to seal this in with a liquid sealer, and I don't want to have any of that paint dust trapped underneath it, making it like chunky or textured. I want it to be really nice and smooth. So we make sure that I do clean this off before I go in with the sealer. And for the sealer today, I am using Big Top, which has a slight sheen, but it also is super duper heavy duty. I love using this, and that will be our top coat. Now I go in with a really light hand and a lot of product on my brush, as you see there. I go over my paint inlay first, nice and gentle, and then I go in and I apply the top coat to the rest. I do smooth it out there, but it's very gentle so that I don't smear or smudge my inlay. You can go in and spray it if you are uncomfortable with doing it with the wet top coat, the liquid top coat, but I've not had any issues with this. Just be gentle, don't overwork it. One coat and you're good. And you guys, wait until you see both of these pieces styled up. You wouldn't think they go together, but they do, and they turned out absolutely beautiful.
So what'd you think? I know it was only 2 projects. I really love them both. I'm trying to decide if I want to put something in that frame or just sell it as is. I've had good luck selling just the frames, especially when they're upcycled like that. So I might just try leaving it like that for right now. And if it doesn't sell, then I'll add something later and see if that helps it sell a little bit quicker. Let me know below what you think of my 2 projects, and thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.